Maxime Bernier has released a lot of information today, as promised. I like politicians who deliver on their promises. So I'm actually going to link the website for Maxime Bernier's platform. He's released the name of his party. He's calling it the People's Party of Canada. I don't think anybody could argue that name. He's also put what his vision is, what his goal is, and what he's going to be focusing on with his platform over the next few months. Now, I want to say something, and I am a believer that Trudeau is campaigning big time, and that he's somehow going to call a snap election. Do I know this for certain? No. But I'm getting these vibes just from what I'm seeing. I want to talk about Maxime Bernier's party, because now he has a party for us, for the people. And I've been hit a little bit with some comments and people who seem to think that someone like me doesn't know much about politics in Canada. I might not know like politics the way trade and this legislation and that legislation, but I understand a lot more than what people think. When you live in a dictatorship, you learn things. So I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on why I am very hopeful that Maxime will win, and he will be our next PM. I just want to, you can go to his website. I'm not going to read the stuff he wrote. Go read it, like it's easy. Just click the link. Nothing he has put on his website is confusing, which I find a lot of, like sometimes I go to Andrew Scheer's Twitter or his Facebook, and I read some things and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm confused. You're complaining about the stuff Trudeau is doing, but then what are you gonna do? That's always been a weak point I found with Andrew Scheer. And I like what Maxime is doing. He's explaining everything clearly to us, and he's putting us above the rest. How can this be bad? Anyhow, so some of the things he talked about was he wants to put the Canadian people first. Not the illegals, not the refugees, not this person and that person and whoever, and take our money to give these people. And we ourselves are hurting. So he said he wants to put the Canadian people first, not special interest groups. How about that? Not cartels, and not lobbyists or international organizations. I want you to go and look at every political party platform in this country right now and tell me if they have anything similar to this. I know they don't. I know they all pander because I see it, and it's gross. It's disgusting. He also really hammered down about how the old ways are not working, and that something went wrong. I don't know. I wasn't here. I don't know. But the way, ever since I've come here, all I see is pandering from political parties. That's all I see. It hurts me when your Conservative Party when Andrew Scheer put up a tweet congratulating Muslims on Eid. Why do this at all? First of all, it's empty. It's so hollow. You know nothing about this religious celebration. And for people like us who ran away from all that, we don't want to see this because it's nasty, and it shows your ignorance and that you are pandering to Muslims. And I wonder if the Muslims like it too. Seeing NDP leaders, this Rachel Nolte, she's obsessed. Every time there's some Muslim, something to address the Muslims, she puts the veil on. Just look the way you do, woman. You don't need to dress like the people you're addressing. Like, what is this mentality? It's so strange. But they all do it. They go to a mosque, they put a hijab on. Why go to a mosque at all? Okay, back. So, the pandering, the politics of pandering is what has led us to this point in time today. And I completely agree with this. I know there's a big portion of people who don't know what's happening in this country. But for those of us who do know, the 1% or the 2% that do know, it's very scary what we're seeing, because it almost feels like there is no hope. And we've gotten ourselves into a lot of trouble with these politicians that are focused on everything and everyone else but here. It's the politics of pandering that brought Islam here. What you're seeing now, this Islamic invasion, is a direct result from prioritizing foreign interest groups and pandering to them. You now are seeing a monstrosity, like a monstrous, a disaster ideology in your country. And it is being pushed whether you like it or not. Not only is it being pushed, there are laws being made to protect this religion. This is not our religion. I'm all fine with religion, guys. I know some people, especially atheists, put religion as a barrier between them and people. I don't do this. I don't. You can do whatever you want. Just don't put your religion in my face. The way Trudeau and the Liberals and the NDP are doing right now. Even when the hijab hoax happened, Andrew Scheer and what's her name, Michelle Rampel, tweeted in support of the poor little 11-year-old girl who had her hijab, someone ran after her hijab. They didn't even question why an 11-year-old girl should be in a hijab. Why? That's child abuse, guys. What are you doing? Why comment on a culture you know nothing about? So Islam is here. And it's very important that you understand that it should not be here. Because Islam is not important for Canada, not at this level. And not to be preached by every politician in your party this way. I'm sorry. Put religion aside and focus on the people, not their ideologies. So this is a big thing, because Maxime Bernier was actually asked if what he's going to do to appease the Muslim vote. And you know what he said? He said nothing, because he's not going to pander to special interest groups, Muslims or not. There. So this racism card, even though Islam isn't a race, you can toss it in the garbage. So when I look at the NDP, I see with Mr. Singh and his turban and his Islamophobia, and that's anyone who uses that word Islamophobia, cross them out. Islamophobia is a slur, because there are plenty people who escaped Islam and identify as ex-Muslims. When you use the term Islamophobia, you are slurring us and smearing us as bigots without knowing anything about us or what happened to us under Islam and why we hold the badge of ex-Muslim so proudly. So I see the NDP using that word. The Liberals, of course. The Liberals don't know any other word, but Islamophobic, racist, Nazi, white supremacist. And that's one of the things in his website, in his platform as well. He said to respect the taxpayers again. Do you feel respected as a taxpayer? I don't want to pay my taxes this year, by the way, because I'm so pissed from the stupid government that keeps calling us names. Why should I do my taxes? They don't respect us. Why do we have to respect this government? So he also addressed managing everything, reducing the size of government. Right now, I'm in Nova Scotia. They just legalized marijuana. Well, they're in the process of legalizing marijuana. You should see the mess that's happened here. I don't even know. I want to know how they're going to enforce all these laws, because you can't walk down the street smoking with your coffee. That's banned completely. Smoking on all the municipality properties, illegal. This is now that we're legalizing marijuana, they've made it everything illegal. What's happening? What is this? How do you legalize something by making it and everything associated with it illegal and a crime? And how do you enforce this? Where are we going to get the police force to pull people on the side of the road and get them to masturbate in public and check their semen samples? Does this make sense to you? Does this sound like a legalization process? Or does this sound like a dictatorship horror? I don't know. And of course, it's liberals here. 50,000 plus Nova Scotians do not have access to healthcare, including yours truly. But hey, you can't smoke. So yeah, we need less government. We don't need this. I don't need Big Brother breathing down my neck. Neither do you. We've entered dictatorship. They're monitoring the internet. What's left? Really? Islam, you can't talk about Islam. You can't talk about Muslims. You can't talk hate speech. You can't do this. You can't look at this person. You can't say this. Doesn't feel like a democracy anymore. What else? Respecting taxpayers. I'd like this. This is good. He also talks about respecting the Constitution. Do you feel like Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are respecting the Constitution? And he wants to respect tradition and history in Canada. Not the Prime Minister who is calling us a post-national whatever, and that we have no identity, and this, and bring in the thugs, the ISIS thugs, and we love them, and they're part of the Canadian culture, and embrace the murderer Syrian refugee who just killed a 13-year-old girl because he's a new Canadian. No, I don't want any of this. I want Canadian tradition, Canadian law, Canadian culture respected. And I want everyone coming into Canada to follow the Canadian culture. The same way when Canadians come to a country like Saudi Arabia, we don't give a shit about your culture. You have to follow the culture of Saudi Arabia, which is horrific and inhumane, but Canadians and foreigners follow. So it's no different here. It's the same. So with regards to what I like about Maxime and how I'm tying it in with Islam, is you see nothing about Islam in his platform. You will not see the word Islamophobia in his platform. You will not see, I've never seen him or heard him say anything about hijabs or little girls in hijabs. I've never seen him condemn Canadians and call them racists or Nazis or alt-right. I like Maxime. So, yeah, I've signed up to his platform. He's looking for $5 donations today. I shall do that as well. I wanted to put a quick shout out to Joe. Joe, you've been through a lot, and I'm very upset about what happened to you. I cried when I saw your video. I hope you're feeling better. Take care.